Good evening, friends. My name is Brajesh, and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Friends, for the last 10-15 days, we are having a lot of uh, discussion around something which is related to the citizenship of India, right? So, basically, why there is so much of noise about this particular amendment in the Citizenship Act of 1955, right? So we need to remember that this act has been amended earlier also, okay? And what makes amendment this time, which is very special, right? And we need to remember the Parliament on 7th of December has passed it in Lok Sabha, and on 11th of December it has been passed by the Rajya Sabha. That's the higher that's the higher um, parliament, right? So let's let's look at this particular uh, amendment, and now as you can see, this this is the gadget of India. Basically, it means that President has given its uh, assent. Okay, he has approved this particular bill, uh, okay, act, and it has now become a law, right? So basically, if you look at this particular line right over here, okay, it says the following act of parliament received the assent of the president on 12th December 2019 and is hereby published for general information, right? So well, this document is there in public forums, okay, and anyone can go and look at it, right? But the kind of uh, environment we have seen, okay, in India, right? People have their own views on it, okay, that has to be there, right? And a lot of misgiving is also there, whether it is educated people or uneducated people, okay. I don't think anyone has read about it. Today is 18th, and frankly speaking, I have also read only the one or two, basically, which is there in the public domain, okay, but never got through this particular document, right? So my idea was that a lot of uh, kind of like people are protesting about this particular act. Okay, we have seen a lot of protest in universities. Some of the most dominant universities are Jamia Millia University, Aligarh Muslim University. Then there was one more university in Lucknow, right? Apart from that, there are some 22 uh, universities, okay, and see, basically, primarily these three universities, which is Jamia Millia, Aligarh Muslim University, and there was one more university in Lucknow. Okay, so apart from that, the other places, your universities has like say 10, 15, or 20 to 30 group of students, or um, a group association affiliated to any of the, say, the communist, or the basically, or say NSUI, which is a Congress Frontal Organization for the Students, right? Or SFI, the basically the CPM, or the Communist Student Federation of India. Okay, so they have given call. So it's not like it's everywhere, but the amount of protest which has happened, okay, along with this, these protests have started by the students, but later got hijacked uh, by the uh, by someone who are not student, and it has resulted in a lot of um, damage to public property, a lot of discomfort to general public. Okay, and Delhi police, or say you, or you say UP police, has been forced to take strict action. Okay, there's one point of contention was that why did the police entered the Jamia Millia University without the consent of the chancellor or say the registrar, right? So there are so many things which are there. Okay, I have my own views whether police uh, did the correct thing or not. Okay, according to me, they have done the best thing. Okay, under the kind of situation which was there, where stone pelting, bottle petrol bombs were hurled on police personnel inside the gate. Okay, so or within the campus of the Jamia Millia, right? So in such cases, I don't think it's proper for any police department or any security forces to keep waiting for any kind of permission, okay, or something. Basically, I would say they were forced to enter the campus, okay, and once police is faced with such kind of environment, they have to uh, use a little bit of force. Okay, people can debate on it whether it was uh, force was more or less, right? So let's get into this particular thing. Okay, so right, so the first thing which we would like to see, that this act may be called Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, so which becomes as CAA 2019. Okay, and if you look at this particular document, it says that it has become a law now. So if you read this particular thing, it shall come into force on such date as the central government may, by notification in the official gazette, appoint. So this is the official gazette or the document from the government of India, right? Now let's read this particular paragraph, right? So that's the point number 2, this particular document. In the Citizenship Act 1955, hereafter referred to as the Principal Act, in section 2 in subsection 1 in clause B, the following proviso shall be inserted, namely, provided that any person belonging to Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi or Christian community from Afghanistan, Bangladesh or Pakistan, who enter into India on or before 31st December of 2014 and who has been exempted by the central government by or under clause C of section 2 of section 3 of passport entry into India Act 1920 of form or from the application of the provisions of Foreigners Act 1946 or any rule or order made thereunder shall not be treated as illegal migrants for the purpose of this particular act. So basically it clearly says that 6 communities, basically Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi and Christian community from Islamic State of Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan, okay, will be considered for citizenship, and the cutoff date for that has been 31st of December 2014, right? So people might ask why this particular date of 31st day of December 2014, okay, has been given. So basically this particular bill was introduced in 2015 and so that's the reason this particular date is there. Now let's move on to the section 3. So after section 6A of the Principal Act, the following section shall be inserted. So let's see what is 6B. The central government or an authority specified by it in this behalf may, subject to such conditions, restrictions, and manner as may be prescribed on application made in this behalf, grant a certificate of registration or certificate of naturalization to a person referred to in the proviso to the clause B of section 1 of section 2. So basically government is telling that government will have the right to give citizenship, which is basically grant of certificate by registration or certificate of naturalization. So in our previous video we have seen there are 4 ways how a person can qualify for Indian citizenship. That is, so we have this registration and the certificate of naturalization. So we will look at this particular certificate of naturalization. So primarily the date which was given of December 31st 2014. Okay, we will it will come into the next paragraph. We will look into that and how it will help them, right? So let's look into the other paragraph. Subject to fulfillment of the conditions specified in section 5 or the qualification for naturalization under the provisions of the 3rd schedule, a person granted the certificate of registration or certificate of naturalization under subsection shall be deemed to be a citizen of India from the date of his entry into India, right? So basically we are making few changes into the as Citizenship Act 1955. Okay, so people of non-minorities of the people of basically non-Muslim population of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, okay, they will be considered for the citizenship, and they have been given, if they have the legal documents and there is they have a legal document say that they have come to India on a valid visa or something like that, and then they have never gone back. So that particular date when they have come, that can be considered as the day for their citizenship to start with. This is what I make out of it. Maybe some legal luminaries will have a different view on it, right? So let's look into that. On and from the day of commencement of Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, any proceeding pending against a person under this section respect of illegal migration or citizenship shall stand abated on conferment of citizenship. So basically what government is telling that any kind of action which has been taken on such people because they don't have any kind of document, right, and they are considered as illegal migrants, okay, will become null and void because they are being given citizenship, right? So once they are citizen, these illegal migration or these things will not hold good, right? So let's look into the next paragraph. Provided that such person shall not be disqualified for making application for citizenship under this section on the ground that the proceeding is pending against him and the central government or authority specified by it in this behalf shall not reject his application on the ground if he is otherwise found qualified for grant of citizenship under this section. So basically what is being told is that if the person is eligible for citizenship under this act, okay, will get basically will get his citizenship. Next paragraph further provided further that the person who makes the application for citizenship under this section shall not be deprived of his rights and privileges to which he is entitled on the date of receipt of his application on the ground of making such applications, right? So Now the next paragraph deals with something which is very controversial, or say basically it tries to uh, address the basically the objections raised by the northeast states of India, right? So basically you have Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura, right, as included 6 scheduled to constitution and the area covered under the inner line notified under the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation 1843, right? So basically what does this mean? What is the inner line, right? The inner line is basically uh, it's like a permit system, okay? So if you are passing through those areas, okay, which have been notified, say some kind of some tribal areas is there, okay, so those areas will not be covered under this particular act. So it's kind of like an exception has been given basically to preserve their culture and language, because one of the big reason why these states are having protest is their fear that a lot of Bengali population will get into there, and which will affect their culture, language, okay, so and their traditions. So basically, so to address that, this particular thing, inner line permit, or basically this act doesn't apply over there, right? So let's look at something which are the other things which are there. So in this particular act it has basically a paragraph or 2 or 3 points which discuss the overseas citizen of India card holders, right? So let's just run through that. In section 70 of the Principal Act, after clause D, the following clause shall be inserted, namely, the overseas citizen of India card holder has violated any of the provisions of this act or provisions of any other law for time being in force as may be specified by the central government in the notification published in the official gazette, or after clause the following proviso shall be inserted, provided that no order under this section shall be passed unless the overseas citizen of India card holder has been given a reasonable opportunity of being heard. So basically it deals with OCI card holder, and if there is any issue has come up, okay, he will be given proper time or he will be heard. He can present his views onto that, right? Let's move on to the next section, and one of the most important section also. In section 18 of the Principal Act, in subsection 2, after clause EE, the following clauses shall be inserted: the conditions, restrictions and manner for granting certificate of registration or certificate of naturalization under subsection 1 of section 6B, okay, in the third schedule to the principal, in clause the following proviso shall be inserted, namely, provided that for the person belonging to these Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi and or Christian community in Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, the aggregate period of residence or service of government in India is required under this clause shall be read as not less than 5 years in place of not less than 11 years, right? So we should remember that under the normal naturalization, okay, process by which you can become Indian, this particular we have a clause of 11 years, right? And once you have applied, you have a 12 months period is also there, so which effectively makes it to say 12 years. So here now it will be 5 years, and when you apply it, so you have the 1 year, so basically it's the 6 years, right? So the So basically the cutoff date has been kept as uh, December 31st 2015, sorry 2014, right? So which will make uh, by next year onwards people can uh, people of these communities can apply for citizenship and they will be given, right? So it's like a blanket citizenship which is being given to them. uh, the only condition which here is there, or the bulk of protest is that why Muslims are not being considered for this, right? So the the basically the government, what government is saying is that official religion of these three countries is in Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and Pakistan is Islam. Okay, and you cannot expect any kind of discrimination over there with Muslims, right? So that's their logic. Okay, and we have a lot of protest against this particular bill, which people say that the basically the protesters are saying that this bill will make a lot of Muslims won't be able to get citizenship. So basically they are asking that this citizenship, or the blanket citizenship which is given for non-Muslim, should be extended to Muslims also, right? And government is saying that, see, this citizenship is being given to non-Muslims, or say the minority community of that those three countries, only on the basis that these people who have come to India or who have taken shelter in India is primarily because they are being prosecuted. They don't have the freedom to practice their religion. Okay, and basically it's they basically they cannot safeguard their property, their religion, their way of life. Okay, so it's say for example in Bangladesh, sorry, in Pakistan, uh, there is something which is going on. Say every year, thousand girls are kidnapped, raped, okay, and then they are married to the rapist. Okay, so this is something which uh, there is a data which says 1,000 girls every year, right? So if you look at, so this is kind of like, okay, extreme form of religious persecution which is going on there. Then you have a blasphemy law in Pakistan. Okay, and most of the time these law comes into place when there is kind of like some kind of fight which is going on, and then they go ahead and say that this particular person, okay, has abused or has said something um, against um, the Prophet Muhammad, okay, which makes it, or against Islam, right? And in majority of the cases, okay, even if there are no evidences, or the evidences are very weak also, a punishment is given to those people, to the accused, okay, and the punishment may go up to death penalty, right? So basically they don't, so it's kind of like a revenge kind of system is there. Okay, uh, so those things are there, right? uh, so if you can recently recall, uh, I think 3 or 4 days back, a Christian girl was kidnapped, raped, and married off, and her religion was changed, right? Before that, a Sikh girl was kidnapped and married off to the rapist. Okay, so it's like something which is the thing which is going on. Okay, there is, they don't have a freedom. They are just whoever has been able to reach here. Okay, it's like they see most of these people, they are staying in camps. Okay, and the facilities which is there is horrible there. Okay, no lights, no water supply, uh, basically no houses and all. They're staying in tents and the situation is very horrible, right? And so if you can look at this particular thing, say um, the there is the population or the Hindu population. If you take one population, okay, it's hardly, it's 1.8%. Okay, but at the time of independence, or say 1951, the population was somewhere close to 13 to 14%, right? So basically, where has the all this population, Hindu population, gone, right? Either they have been converted, or they have been killed, or they have run away from Pakistan to India, right? Now next, let's come to uh, Bangladesh. The population of or the Hindu population of in Bangladesh was somewhere close to 25%. Now it is close to 13%. So if you look at it, where has this population gone? Either they have run away to uh, India, or they have been converted forcefully. Okay, so it's basically whoever is coming to India from these uh, non these minority community of those said countries. Okay, they are coming in India because they feel they can be helped by the government of India, or they, there is some obligation by on government end of India to protect them. We need to remember very clearly, right, that this country was divided on the basis of religion. Okay, and at the time of division, okay, there was a, basically each country agreed that they will take care of their minorities. Okay, but in the case of India, India followed it in letter and spirit, and that can be seen that the population of during at the time of independence, it was 7%, and now it is say 15%. Some people say that it is 18%. So let's say, right, so in India, Muslim population has grown. People in those of people have risen to the post of presidents. They are president of eminent business personalities like Ajim Premji. Okay, there are a lot of people who have progressed. They hold uh, very respectable positions. In fact, I would say they are one of the best. Okay, they have been able to perform. Okay, and if you take the example of Bollywood, right, you have a lot of people there. I think they Muslim population or the Muslim actors rule the roost over there. Okay, but if you look at in Pakistan or in Bangladesh, there's hardly any kind of development for them. So whoever is there left over there, they are just waiting when they will be killed, or when they will be converted, and that will happen slowly and slowly will happen. So as we said, so in Mahatma Gandhi said, it is we are obliged to give them citizenship, to make them comfortable in India. Okay, whenever they feel like coming to India. So basically these are there are a lot of commitment, there's a lot of demands which has been put forward, right? Congress party has been demanding that citizenship should be given to these non-Muslims. Even the Communist Party has done the same. Okay, but the irony is that these are the people now who are against the same thing. They don't want these citizenship to be given, and they have a condition that if it is given, why not give it to Muslims, or why this kind of thing is there on the basis of religion. So one thing is very clear: when this country was divided, it was divided on the basis of religion, right? And if anything kind of like blanket uh, citizenship has to be given to these illegal migrants, okay, it has to, the basis has to be the religion, right? So it's not only the nationality is not given only to these communities, same only to Hindu or Sikhs. It is given to for other minorities in those countries, right? So these things have to be considered. And see, if a Muslim is staying in those countries, okay, they cannot be discriminated. We cannot say that uh, a Muslim is discriminated. But even if a Muslim is discriminated, say Ahmadiyas or Qadianis, so those cases will be dealt one by one. It's government of India is not telling that we will not give them asylum, right? Or we will not give them shelter. We will give them, and it will be done on case to case basis. But blanket citizenship will not be given to them, right? So that's the uh, point, or that's the view of the government of India, and and I fully subscribed to these views, and I fully support it, right? Because if government of India or the we Indians don't give them citizenship, who else will give? Where will they go? They don't have a choice, right? So either we decide that these brothers and sisters of India, right, who were separated or who were not allowed to come to India, be left over there, or left here in India just to uh, live a life which is horrible than hell, right? It cannot be done. These citizenship has to be given, right? There are other points also which will be discussed. I will take it up maybe say tomorrow or some other day, or the reason why a lot of protest is going on, okay, and the politics behind it. So basically, as I was telling, CPM Communist Party is demanded, Congress Party demanded, but why are they are against it? Why is Mamata Banerjee against it, right? Mamata Banerjee was against these illegal migrants. She was one of the parliamentarian who raised this particular issue time and again. But once she got the government, formed the government in Bengal, okay, her view has changed. Now the reason is that these migrant people have been given Aadhaar card, ration cards, uh, voter IDs, okay. These migrants, illegal migrants, have got it by basically it's the corruption, and they have got all these documents, and now these people have become the voters of Mamata Banerjee, right? So now she doesn't want this particular segment to go away from her. If government of India say say that 2 crore people or say 1 crore voters are not eligible, or they don't have voting rights anymore, right? Can you imagine how hard it will hit the Mamata Banerjee, right? Or how hard it will hit the Congress or the CPM, or say, or for that sake, Mulayam Singh, Mulayam Singh party, or say Akhilesh party, Mayawati party. These are the parties whose bulk of voters come from this particular community. I am not saying that everyone is an illegal migrant, but if these people's voting rights are taken away, it will hit them hard. And that is what they are doing it, right? And BJP government has promised NRC, and which they have said that they will implement this particular NRC in the coming days. And this the one more problem, or basically is that here this will be that if someone is a non-Muslim from these 3 countries, they will be given the citizenship, which I agree with that, but Muslims of those countries will not be given. For that I also agree, because they are here in India for a better life, right? And there is nothing wrong if they are here in India with valid papers, okay? They can live their life, and you have the naturalization process. They can take up the Indian, right? They can do that, and we have few examples. Recently we have seen Adnan Sami getting it. He became an Indian, right? So it's not that the government of India will not consider them, but the kind of blanket citizenship will not be rolled out for them. And so basically these are some of the things which is there, right? And thank you very much, guys, for listening to me, right? And thank you very much. Please do subscribe to my channel. It will help me, it gives me a lot of support. Thank you very much.